I'm Tremont Jones, and this is my story. Well, I grew up in a small town, Hogansville, Georgia. Like normal people, my father was at home, my mother was there, but my father was there in the present, but he was not there to support me as a young man, as a child. I remember times growing up going fishing with him, which should have been something that I enjoyed. He would abuse me, hit me for no reason. And I know he was on drugs, he drunk a lot, and my mom did the best she could growing up, trying to support us. And I remember waking up at nights with her crying, and he had beat her, coming home drunk all the time. And time went on, got a little older. They built a house, they remained together, and we lost that house, and we ended up moving to LaGrange, Georgia. And at that point, things were just going haywire. He got strung out on crack, and I remember times that I was taking a shower, and he would come in to the bathroom while I was taking a shower and make me stay in the shower for hours while he smoked crack. And I remember telling myself that when I get older, I'm not gonna be like this. And it was between my age of 15 and 16, I left home, and I started hanging in the streets with my friends, with my cousins. I started drinking, started smoking marijuana, and I started eventually selling drugs. And I sold drugs sitting on the church steps. And I know it was God that protected me the whole time while I was out there in the streets, because I remember hearing his voice telling me I need to stop, you need to quit selling drugs. But I continued on for years, and eventually I met my wife, and she was an angel sent from heaven. And when I met her, she was pretty much saved at the time. She knew Christ, and she introduced me to him a little bit more, and we started praying together on a daily. And even the times that we wasn't together, I would call her before I went to bed or she went to bed, and we would say the Lord's Prayer. And we did this all the time. And eventually, she started going to church, and I remember one Sunday morning, she left me at home, and she didn't even ask me was I going to church. And that particular service, the service was about giving, and that morning she gave her wedding ring away. Why, I don't know. But to this day, I know that it was the reason why. She brought some suit coats at home that morning from church, and I was wondering, why did you bring those home? Because I don't go to church. But that night, before I went to bed, I had prayed that the Lord would continue to make me a better man for him and his kingdom. And I remember that afternoon, they had a second service, and she asked me, was I going to church? I said no. But I had made up in my mind that day that I was done with the old lifestyle. So I went by my homeboy's house, and they were sitting out like normal, drinking and smoking. And I had one foot in the car, I had one foot on the ground, and I told them, I said, guys, I'm done with this lifestyle. And they was like, man, stop tripping and come on smoke this with us. And I was like, guys, I'm serious. And I closed the door, and I haven't looked back since then. I remember about 10 years ago when I was over the road driving trucks. I was at a truck stop in some state, I don't remember, but about 7 o'clock in the morning, it was still dark, and this van pulled up between the trucks, and I didn't know who it was, but it was an old lady. She got out her van and knocked on the door, and I got down out of the truck, and it was a Jehovah's Witness. And she was out at 7 o'clock in the morning witnessing about her God. And I was so convicted as a Christian. I was like, what am I doing to witness and talk about my God, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for my sin? And I thought back about those years that I sat on those church steps, and no one ever mentioned Christ to me. So church, refuge point, let's get out. Let's start talking about Christ, because if we don't, who will? The next generation will be lost without us. My name is Tremont Jones. That's my story.